Hello everybody, and welcome to class. Today is a little bit different than usual, because I'm making a video for you guys. I probably have already told you this yesterday, which is tomorrow for me right now, but I have to go to the DMV on Wednesday. Not excited. I'm ready to start a movement to defund the DMV, just saying. But yeah, I have to be out of the classroom, so I figured this would be a really cool time for me to just try doing a virtual lesson, essentially. And if it goes well, maybe I'll make more. Maybe I will forget that I ever tried this, and we will never see it again. Who knows? So we have a lot to go over today, though. If you have not been doing stuff with us, and you just kind of randomly jumped into this video, I am sorry. There's a lot we got to go over. Hopefully it's digestible today, but we'll see how it goes. So today's goal is that we are going to be writing a pop song using beatbox. But there's a few things we got to go over first. We've been talking a lot about form. We have two different ways that we can do form. Either the more classical way. It takes forever to write out things like this. That's how we do it when we use A, B, A, C, whatever. Any of the letters that we have in there. We kind of just organize them in different ways. That's more of a classical way to do it. And then we have the more contemporary way. The way that most popular music does it. And that's with verses and choruses. We have a lot that we have learned here so far. I'm going to start typing it out because that'll make my life a lot easier. So, we started with an intro. We had some verse, chorus. Oop, not what I wanted. Before our chorus, we had our pre-chorus. We have a bridge. And lastly, we have our outro. And we're going to talk a little bit about what all that stuff means in case you forgot. Intro. Just bare bones basic. It happens at the beginning of the song. Usually it's based on the chorus, but it's not always. And one thing that we've tried to do is slowly bring instruments in. So bring different voices in. That's not how you spell voices. Voices in one at a time, we'll say. The next one we have is our verse. This tells the story. In more popular music, when it has lyrics and stuff, then the lyrics are usually changing. The words change. That's how the story is told. Between each verse, there's usually some slight differences. Not all the time, but there usually are some slight differences beyond changing the words. But that doesn't have to be. But then again, it also can be completely different. Or you can even do a mixture of it. You can have verse 1 and verse 2 be pretty similar. Verse 3 and verse 4, different idea. Okay. I didn't want that ad there the whole time. Sorry. Alright. Next we have the pre-chorus. Put simply, this just leads into the chorus. So it's something that leads into the chorus. It's something that is also repeated. Usually there's no differences in each pre-chorus to pre-chorus. It just kind of gets the music moving. It is an optional thing. For this assignment that I'm giving you today, you don't need to use a pre-chorus. That's up to you. Sometimes I tell you guys, this is why I'm a music teacher and not an English teacher. Okay, so chorus. This is like the hook of your song. It has to be catchy. It should be, realistically, I tell you guys, it should be your favorite part of the song. If it is not your favorite part of the song, you should probably find a new chorus. Whenever you're writing, if you're writing like a bunch of stuff and then you realize, ooh, I really like that part, that's my favorite, make that part your chorus because it's coming back each time. It's repeated. Exactly. There's no differences. No changes, no nothing. It's just, here's the chorus. Then you do some other things and you're like, hey, remember that thing from before? Here's the chorus again. Bam. Alright. Next we have our bridge. The biggest thing about it is that it adds contrast. It gives you something different. That's huge. So it's adding some contrast, it's adding something different, it's making something a little bit more fresh. Usually happens near the end of your music. Not all the time, but that's usually how it goes. Alright. And lastly, we have our outro. This ends the music. Oftentimes in popular songs, you'll hear that it repeats and fades. It doesn't always have to do that. Sometimes you will have a clean cut, like a clean finish. But a lot of songs use that repeat and fade because ending a song is hard. And repeating something and just fading it out is really easy. You'll see very, very never does that happen in classical music. It happens all the time in popular music. It's just how it is. I think mostly because it's really hard to consistently play something and just fade it out little by little until it's absolutely nothing. That's not a thing that is super easy. You know, for like a whole orchestra to do. But anyway. So those are our basic things with form. You can organize these in a lot of different ways. And for today, you will have that choice of how you want to organize it. With that said, I will give you an option if you'd like to just kind of copy the one I'm doing. I don't really need these over here anymore, do I? No, haha. Actually, I'm going to keep that so far. So the example I'll give you today will have an intro, a verse, a pre-chorus, a chorus. Just kidding. I don't feel like writing a pre-chorus. No pre-chorus for me today. I feel like if you're following along with what I'm doing exactly, you don't want to write a pre-chorus either. But we'll have a verse 2, another chorus, then a bridge, then a chorus, and then an outro. So that'll be the form that we are using together today. You can change it up if you'd like to. No matter what though, if you are putting in a pre-chorus, it has to be before a chorus. Your bridge should be near the end. Intros at the beginning, outros at the very end. Bam. Those are the little key things you need to know. Alright. So at this point, I'm going to really quickly open up a new page of this. Can I do this? No. I'm not paying for this, sorry. Alright, give you 1 second to open up another whiteboard app. You guys get to see the process. Bam, bam, Shazam. Okay. So that's all stuff we've already done. That's all review. We're getting into today, what's the new part? What's making it more of a pop song? And that's what we call our chord progression. There we go. My mouse doesn't have that much space over here. I'm like trying to type to write out with that. So we're talking about our chord progression. This is how we organize our chord. Alright. First things first, we should definitely talk about the basics. What is a chord again for you guys? So our chord. The most basic thing I can tell you is the little formula we have for it, which is root, wherever you start in your scale. The third higher than that, and a fifth higher than that. I probably just lost some people with saying a third and a fifth. We'll go over it. But just know that's our little basic formula for any chord that we do. Alright. Every chord progression, every chord is based on the scale that it is in. That's not right. There we go. So right now we are going to be using this chord progression, this scale. What am I talking about? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It goes from one letter all the way up our musical alphabet until we get back to that same letter. We are going to number all of these right away. It gets confusing because we have two sets of numbers, but for right now, we've got our blue numbers, and we'll have a different color after that. The last one was a little superfluous. Alright. So our chord is based on the root, whichever note we start on. Let's say if we start on C, that's our root. Our third, we jump up a third. That means we count C as number 1, D is number 2, E is number 3. So far we have C, E, and now we keep on going with our numbers 4 and 5, and we found our fifth note, which is G. I don't know why I put a 6 there, I'm sorry. Bam, bam. Alright. So that's how root, third, fifth works. But we don't have to start at C. We can start anywhere we want. It's just a different type of chord. So if I want, for example, let's start at G. G is our root. G is our number 1. Then we count up. 2, 3. B is our number 3. We keep on counting. 4, 5. Here we have our little issue of, but we have no more letters in our scale. You just kind of keep on going with the alphabet then. So yeah, we left off at C. Our next one would be D. Ba-bam. So here we have root, third, fifth. It's not the same chord, it's a little bit different, but it has the same formula to it. Alright. When we start on the first note of our scale, that is called a 1 chord, because we start on the first note of our scale. We just did a 5 chord, because we started on G, the 5th note of our scale. Alright. This is actually the beginning of our chord progression that we are talking about today. Am I able to just kind of take and move things? No, I cannot. Wait, maybe I can. Take all that. Can I move it? Yes, let's go. Alright. Bam. Because I need it out of the way. So I don't use this whiteboard all that often, to be honest with you guys. I mean, you guys use it usually. I usually just use a Zoom one, which is a little bit different. Alright. Oh, that's even still there. That's cute. I'm taking it out still. Mostly because I'm kind of, like, I see the word progression written down, and I'm paranoid that I wrote it wrong. And I think it's right, but I'm not 100%, to be honest with you. Once again, not an English teacher, just a music teacher. It's amazing they let me teach people. Alright. So, that's our first part of our progression, is a 1 to a 5. We are then going to jump down to a 4, and we're going to end it with 6. So, that 4 means we start on the 4th note of our scale. So F is our root. We go up a third. Bam. And we go up to the fifth. Bam. F, A, C. That is going to be our 4 chord in this key signature that we're using. Alright, well, let's get rid of all that. And we have to talk about our 6th. Once again, we just start on the 6th note of our scale. So A is now our root. We go up a third. Up to C. And then we go up to the 5th. And we just kind of keep on going with our musical alphabet. So our 6th chord is going to be A, C, and E. Ba-bam. Woo! Okay. So now we have our chord progression. We are taking this. We're taking everything we know about freezes. And we are taking this form over here. I am not writing it. Ba-bam. And we're going to mash that all together in beatbox. Lot, I know. But it's simpler than you think. Let's start with just our chord progression. So we want a 1, 5, 4, 6. Let's jump over to beatbox. Alright, I'm going to do my chords right here. I'm going to choose something that actually will sound pretty and not just blaring in my ear. Sorry, saxophone players. I was looking for like a piano of some sort, but like I'll find something good. 12 minutes later, Mr. Farrell finds an instrument he likes. No, I got excited. I thought I was about to harp. I really like the sound of a harp on this. I don't know why. I really cannot find it though. I can find it so easily every other time. Oh, there we go. Harp. I don't know. I like the sound of a harp. It's not harsh. It's just nice. If you are looking at a screen that looks like mine, feel free to go into Preferences and click on Show Piano Keys. Feel free to go into Preferences and click on Highlight Fifth Notes. I like having that personally. That just makes me happy. Alright, so first chord is C, E, G. It's a basic 1 chord. Then we need our 5 chord, G, B, D. It does not matter what order you put these in. If you want to just do it like that, you can do that. If you want to kind of shift it around, like that, you can do that too. I'm going to do that just because they're a little bit closer together. Alright, so I have my 1 chord, I have my 5 chord. I now need my 4 chord. Bam. And lastly, we have our 6 chord. And I accidentally made a 6 chord before. Maybe. No, I did. I didn't. I don't know what I was thinking. Alright, so we got a chord progression. 1, 5, 4, 6. I have my chord progression here, and I just need to keep on repeating it. No matter what part I'm working on in my song, I have the same chord progression for the whole thing. Alright. So this is what it sounds like so far. Alright. Now I can start working on my melody. Notice, I'm not paying attention to the form at all yet. I need to create a verse, I need to create a chorus, and then I could start figuring out what I want to do with the song, how I want to organize it. I already know how I'm organizing it, but I'm writing this stuff down first. I guess I should probably choose something different than a harp over here, shouldn't I? You know, I make my own life difficult sometimes. There we go. It's fine, it's a flute. One other thing I would recommend is going to Preferences and clicking on the Octave Scroll Bar, just so you know how high or low you are. Each one of these has a certain height to it that's associated with just where it is. So naturally the blue line is higher than this, which is good. That's what we want for our melody. Okay, we are writing a simple question and answer phrase right now. Question phrase, we are starting on C. Because of our chord being a 5 chord over there, we want to end it on G. For right now, at least. And then our answer phrase is going to end on the note C. Alright. In the middle of that, I can do whatever I want. There we go. I got a beautiful melody going on so far. Then I can start my answer phrase however I want. There we go. So now I have a question phrase and I have the answer phrase. Let's hear how it sounds so far. Great. I'm going to come up with something else though. I have no idea whether this phrase will be my verse, my chorus, or just something different yet. Because I haven't written anything else yet. If I write this out and I'm like, you know what? This is so much better and I like it a lot more. Then guess what? This is going to be my chorus. If I hate this, I might still keep it because I'm trying to make this fast. Because it is right now. It's not quite 8 o'clock yet. It's only like 7:40. But later than I should be teaching right now. Alright. Sure. That's very, very similar to that, isn't it? Yeah, I just kind of went up. I'm not really putting much brain thought into this right now. Let's try and make it better. Sure. Let's hear that. Love it. Let's hear how that sounds all together. One thing I want to point out is, if you notice in my phrases, I'm using a bunch of different lengths of notes. I'm using some notes that are a little bit longer, some notes that are way shorter, some notes in the middle. I'm even leaving some spaces in there at some points if I want to change up the rhythm. It's not all just quarter notes. It's not all just boring, bland. I mean, is it the best melody I've ever written? No. But it's more interesting because I'm adding those little shifts in there. And I'm doing them thoughtfully. I'm not just kind of randomly throwing them at you. Alright, so I have 2 phrases written. I like the second one better. I'm going to say that second one. Let's make that my chorus. So my chorus is going to be 3, 4. My verse then could be 1 and 2. So I'm going to do something in the beginning. I don't know what yet. Probably just have the chords and just let that be. Then go into 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and maybe 2 or maybe 5. I don't really know yet. It depends if I want to change that. But back to our chorus again. And then I have something completely different over here. So, you know what? I might say, sure, make that 7, 8. Just in case I want to make the second verse something different. And then 3, 4 again. I've only written 2 complete periods. I have question, answer phrase, question, answer phrase. But I almost have an entire piece already. I just have to figure out some details. Alright. So let me start getting that in place. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have my bridge, which I'm gonna say is gonna be 7 and 8, just because I'm not sold on me doing the exact same verse the second time. All right, and then I go back to my chorus, so 3, 4, and then I end it with my outro, however I want to do that. All right, so let's look here. I want to change it up at least a little bit. I can use some repetition though, if I want, and keep that same one the same. That same one the same. That's what the sentence that just came from my mouth was. That number 1, the beginning of my verse, can be the same both times. There we go, and that's the end of my second verse. So a little bit different. I go in a different direction with it, but there's enough similarities there that I would say it's simple. You know, the question phrase is the same. Okay, I didn't like it. There we go. I like that a lot better. I'm thinking of it in my head. Perfect. So I have my intro. I might want to do more for it, but not right now. I have my verse, 1 and 2. I have my chorus, 3 and 4. I have my second verse, 1 and 5, because I want to change it up a little bit. And I go right back to my chorus, 3 and 4. Now I have my bridge. This one, contrast is the biggest thing I want. I still want it to fit in my generic kind of freeze little thing, you know? But this time I might want to do something a little bit more interesting. Notice the biggest thing I'm doing right now, I'm using some types of notes that I have not used yet. I'm using my 16th notes in here. It's going to feel faster. It's going to feel like the pace of the music taken off a little bit. Sure, let's see how that sounds. It might sound terrible because I'm not really sure what it's going to sound like, but I went with something and I went for it. Let's see. I'm happy to keep on going with that. There we go. So my whole bridge is now done. It's not a masterpiece, but it's something. So it's something that's very different than anything else I have in the piece. It moves a lot more. In the first one, I used a lot more skips, at least at the beginning of it. The second one, I threw that idea out because I was like, you know what? The 16th notes move enough that it doesn't matter. You can figure out something for your piece that just is different than what you've been doing. If I want to add more leaps, I can do that. And now it's going to sound very different, but maybe it's better. There we go. More leaps. And I kind of like that better. I think it contrasts the rest of my song a lot more. Alright. Last part of what I need is my intro and my outro. I think for my intro, what I have right now is actually perfect. It kind of gives you the chords, and then my melody comes in. If I were to write a bass line, which I don't think I'm gonna do, maybe I will. I'll write something. So we'll get back to the intro, actually, because I'm gonna make mine a little bit more lengthy. You can leave yours just like this if you wanted. Your chords, and then your melody coming in, that's all you really need. For my outro, I'm gonna write something for this. Let's see. let's start at my chorus. I want to hear it. I want to make it somewhat based off. I'm happy to just steal that completely. And then I want to make a new one that sounds very similar. Bam. That's all I'm going to do for my outro. And it'll be pretty solid. Alright, so this is what my piece sounds like so far. Oh, I did not pull this over. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. Let's just skip over that. Didn't even get to hear my piece. And that's it. Does it sound like a pop song yet? No. But it's getting there. You know what I mean? We got some of the ideas. We got the chord progression in there. We got a nice melodies going on. For spending 2 seconds on this, I'm pretty happy with that. Also, I'm not really using pop song kind of instruments yet. I don't think that would help just because I didn't write it super poppy. But, you know, I'm not mad at it. It's a pleasant song. It sounded good so far. At this point, I've been talking for like 30 minutes. I'm going to try and do this part quickly. I'm not putting much detail into it. You can put as much detail as you want into it. If you feel like you're all good, feel free to just stop it and say, okay, I got this. I get it. You can stop. If you're like, no, I kind of want to see how it goes, feel free to keep on watching. Alright, my next part is going to be making a B. I do not like that tone. That'd be great if I was writing some little chiptune music. Let's just use like a drum pad or something. Not a drum pad, a drum set or drum set. No, yeah, we'll do that. Let's see how that goes. I don't really know. Love it. For this song, I don't think I'm going to write anything different than that. Normally, I tell you guys to follow the rule of threes, and you want to do something different the third time you can do something 3 times, and then the 4th time you do it, you want to change it up a little bit. You know what? Yeah, I will. I guess I'll be a good teacher and actually, listen to my own advice. Let's see how that goes. I don't really know. Let's try that one. Love it. And then I want a bass line of some sort. Something that follows these chords. So it follows the C, the 1 chord, the C chord, and then it goes up to a 5 chord. And then it's going to go to a 4 chord. And then it's going to jump to a 6 chord. I don't know why I struggle so much on those chords. I was trying to remember what chords we even used. It's a whole lesson, you dummy. And I want to follow this rhythm that I have here. Should I have made it a little bit of a simpler rhythm? Maybe. But I didn't. Now, If you want to make your rhythm entirely on one note, feel free to do that, by all means. I'm just kind of jumping up and around the chord to make it a little bit more interesting. So let's hear what this first one sounds like. And now I gotta do my next one. It sounds fine. It's not like the best beat in the world, but it works, it's functional. And that's what I'm going for right now, is it works and it's functional. Alright, and then we have a held one. And then 8 notes. Bam. Let's see how that goes. You're gonna have every once in a while slight differences between your beat and your bass line. I'm not gonna worry too much about it because I don't want to fix it right now, honestly. It's not a problem at all. It's just kind of how it's gonna go for right now. And I'm just gonna keep that same beat and bass line going the whole time. There's enough going on. What am I doing with these numbers? There's enough going on that I'm not too worried about it. I will keep the 1 1 1 2 in my beat just to kind of make it something different and just not this. What am I doing? Not the same thing just over and over and over again in your face. In an ideal world, I would spend more time and make the beat more interesting, the bass line more interesting, the chords more interesting. But I ain't got time for that. You know what I mean? Alright, so this is what my song sounds like so far. I do have one more thing I want to do to it before we end. It's going to be a pain in the butt. I can also change some levels, because I can barely hear the melody. Just a little bit. We're in the chorus again, and into the bridge. In the bridge, I could also choose to change up all of this stuff too. Maybe not the chords, but everything else, if I wanted to. Make it actually fit with the music, that would be a really good idea. But this is just a simple kind of thing to show you what I would do. Alright, and that's as much as I really would ever expect you guys to do with this. I'm going to take it a step further just because I want to showcase some more stuff for this. I'm just thinking about how I want to do it. Alright. So one thing you can do is go into edit and then change song length. I'm going to add an extra 4 bars to it. Unfortunately, it adds it to the back end, and I really want an extra 4 bars at the very beginning. So it's going to be a little pain in the butt. Luckily for most of my channels, it's just 1 2 1 2. With this one being a little weirder. But this is just what I want to do. This is what I would like for my intro. I'm making my intro a little bit longer than you ever would need to. But it also means I have to move everything back, which is a pain in the butt. You don't have to do that. Please do not feel like you do have to do it. This is just me and my brain being annoying. Alright, and then I need this to be 5, and this to be 1. And that should be good, and this should be that, and I think that's all good. I just need to pull that over. I need to clean up some stuff that's at the beginning, because I moved the whole song over 4, so this doesn't start yet. Now I'm deciding what I want to come in when. I don't think I'm going to have this come in right off the bat. I don't think I want this to come in right off the bat. I think I'm going to do it just kind of like a nice little staircase. Unless I want the chords to come in, and yeah, I want the chords to come in first. Because everything's based on the chords. So there we go. Now I have my finished song. This is what it sounds like. I just made the intro a little bit longer. My piece is a little bit longer. You don't need it to be this long. But yeah, this is what mine is. Verse 2. Back to the chorus. Into the bridge. Back to the chorus. Right, and now we have the outro. Bam! And that's my whole song. If we want to, we can make it a little bit longer. I am not doing that right now. This is already a 40-minute video. But yeah, that's going to be what you have to do. I went into it in painstaking detail. If you were watching me, you should be able to do it no problem yourself, hopefully. But we'll see. Alright, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. I will be checking your work tomorrow when I'm back. Or, at the very least, by Friday. Because I don't want to have anything to do over the break. Alright, everybody. Have a great one. Goodbye.